So today I wanted to talk a little bit about food labeling and what to look for when you go shopping and when we're buying snacks in particular. I think that's the most important part here. So I'm standing in front of our pantry and you can see everything's neatly in a basket because that's the way my wife likes it. But anyway, we're going to start with these crackers. So if we look at the food label, the one thing I want you to look at here, so you can see that every food label and the nutrition information in particular are pretty much the same. So we've got our energy, the amount of protein, the amount of fat, and they break it into saturated and unsaturated fat, which we've spoken about before. Carbohydrates, sugars within that carbohydrate, and sodium, so how much salt. So this bit here we're going to look at just for this product. So the daily intake percentage, or the daily percentage intake of energy, it's about 3%. Okay, so you go, all right, it's only make up 3% of my daily energy intake. That's fine. That's per serving. So you have to be aware of what a serving is. Just above it, approximately 4 crackers. Now, if you eat 4 crackers and that's it, that's fine. There's no problem with that. But I suggest that for most of us, 4 crackers isn't a lot. So that nutritional panel, it's 100% correct. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to be aware of what you're going to eat when you eat it. So if you have 8 crackers with some cheese, you're racking up 10% of your daily energy intake. Just be aware of that. We're looking at this peanut butter. This one I want to highlight in terms of both the ingredients. So there's a list of ingredients and just the total fat. So you can see that, well, I hope you can see that the fat there is bolded because within this kind of spread within nuts, fats is the most crucial part of that. So they often bold it so that you can compare it to other products. So it's important to understand how much fat is in this, and there's an amount there per 100 grams. So it's about 50% fat. So per 100 grams, there's almost 50 grams of fat. Now, we're not going to eat 100 grams at a time. We'll eat about 10 to 15 to 20, depending on how much you put on. But it's important to know what these numbers are. You have to look at the heading. Also, with the ingredients list, it is listed from the thing that's in has the most of it in there. So in this case, obviously it's got nuts, and sometimes it gives you a percentage. This is 88% nuts. The second ingredient is sugar. So that means of all the things that are in there, the added sugar is the second highest thing that's in there per gram. So just be aware that that's listed from biggest to smallest. So if sugar or salt is in particular is listed high, then you can almost guarantee that there's a lot of sugar in there. We have next these breakfast bars. Again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this, and there's nothing hugely to highlight here other than the fact I want you to be aware of the total carbohydrate intake in one of these biscuits, right? So the biscuit is 65 grams. The total carbohydrates within that 65 gram biscuit is 32 grams. So it's almost 50% carbohydrate, of which 8% is sugar. So there is a lot of dietary fiber in there. Fiber will make up the other part of that carbohydrate, which I think is a good thing. But in terms of tracking our overall energy intake, particularly through carbohydrates, it's important to know. Now, finally, I want to make a point in regard to this tiny little asterisk here in regards to the daily intake. Now, the percentage of your daily intake, it's just a maths an amount saying, well, this is how much carbohydrates, this is how much energy it's got in it, and a percentage of a daily intake, it's only going to be, what do they say, it's a total energy, 13%. It's not a lot. You're going to have it for breakfast, that's fine. But it's based on an 8,700 kilojoule total diet. So I know kilojoules doesn't register with us a lot, but in this case, 8,700 kilojoules is about a 2,000 calorie diet. That's a lot. we're working through our meal plan at about 15 to 1800, usually around that 1500 mark on average. So having that in as a snack, based on the fact that it's only 13% of a total daily intake, which is much higher than we want in terms of a weight loss and healthy eating point of view. Now, I have one more thing here, popcorn. And again, I want to bring your attention to the carbohydrate amount here. So, now this is for my kids' microwave popcorn. They have it for afternoon tea, and the butter, I'm sure the butter flavoring within it isn't overall great, but within one serving, which is 25 grams of popcorn, there is 14 grams of carbohydrates. Within that carbohydrate amount, there is 0.2 grams of sugar. So it's not a lot of sugar, but there's a whole heap of dietary fiber. So in terms of eating popcorn, it's actually a really good fibrous food, fibrous grain, because it's corn, it's a grain, to eat as a snack. So whilst I don't recommend getting the fancy, labeled product, some good popping corn in a, if you've got a popcorn maker or a saucepan, heat it up, a little bit of butter over the top or just salt, is a really good, easy, simple, healthy snack. So I hope that explains a little bit. There's a lot to do with labeling. It's a bit of a issue that's fraught with danger, but I hope there's a couple of points to go forward with. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Don't hesitate to fire them through, see me in the gym, whatever. Thanks a lot. I'll see you soon.